We in the media obsess about America's problems.
Recession fears deepening, rising prices to job fears.
All of that's true, but we should also acknowledge that today, life in America is better than life has been anywhere in the world. For most of human history, the norm was hunger, disease, illiteracy, slavery, and frequent war. The average lifespan was less than 35 years. For centuries, humanity made little progress. But there were a few exceptions, so-called golden ages. And a new book, Peak Human, says today is our golden age. Are we peak now?
I think we live in a golden age, for sure.
Historian Johan Norberg says we can learn from the rise and fall of golden ages like ancient Athens, Rome, the Renaissance, and the one America's founders helped start.
Oppression and poverty was the rule throughout history. What sets golden ages apart is that for a period of time, they managed to lift themselves above that and give more people more freedoms.
The Romans did that, creating
a huge empire extending from Britain to North Africa, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Black Sea.
Strangely, looking at social media, this is something today's American men think about a lot.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Well, at least twice a day.
What?
There are all these videos where women are surprised how often the guys in their lives think about ancient Rome.
Apparently, men think about Rome every day because there's so much to think about. They gave us the urban grid in Manhattan.
Rome's republic inspired our form of government.
There's a reason why we have a Senate and they meet in the Capitol. We borrow those ideas from the Romans.
How many times a week do you think about the Roman Empire?
Like 30.
30 times a week?
I suspect men are mostly interested in the military.
We often think of warfare, the fact that they were brutal warriors, and they were. But so were everybody else. What made the Romans different? They gave people among the subjected the ability to have a second career in Rome. They made them citizens and allowed them to do business, to have a career in the military. Some of the subjected peoples could even end up being emperors of Rome.
The conquered, some became emperors?
The son of a freed slave eventually ended up on the throne of Rome. And that tells you something about the power of meritocracy and of openness. You'll get the best brains if you're open to more people.
Rome was built on trade and immigration. They took ideas and talent from all over the world, not because they thought that was kind.
Tolerance was a weapon, often literally a weapon. They got their Spanish swords from the Spaniards, ships from Carthage, new business models from other groups. Because Rome was such a huge integrated free trade area, you could source the best material, the best technology from any part of the empire, and therefore they could become the masters of the world.
But then Rome, too, fell.
Yes, and ever since we've thought about why that happened.
There were many reasons. Disease, barbarian invaders, and something modern societies should worry about. You say entitlement spending played a big role.
Bread and circuses. The emperors wanted to become popular by handing out free stuff to people. Originally, this started small. You just handed the very poor means of subsistence, but it was popular. So the group that lived on the public's expense grew larger all the time. And emperors complained about this. Everyone from Caesar and onward said, oh, we've got to reform this system because it means that we have fewer people working and more people consuming. But no one succeeded. Instead, it was expanded all the time, became more and more costly.
Once people had their free bread, somebody who threatened to take that away was in trouble.
Romans could conquer the world, but they couldn't do entitlement reform.
It just reminds me of what I see in the West now. Even countries that are going broke, they can't raise the retirement age.
Once you have an ever-expanding system of entitlements that you can't afford, that's often the beginning of the decline and fall phase.
Ancient Rome did what modern societies do, mint more money. Actually, since they didn't have paper money, they devalued by putting less gold and silver in each coin.
In a way, inflation was much worse than barbarian invaders. And the solution that they come up with was counterproductive. The Emperor Diocletian, he blamed greedy businessmen for inflation, something that we hear today as well. So he imposed price controls on more than 1,000 goods. But obviously it all failed because prices kept rising and undermined the Roman Empire completely.
And countries that followed. Germany after World War I. More recently, Venezuela and Zimbabwe, where they print bills worth
$100 trillion. People would have to carry a bag of cash just to buy a loaf of bread.
Peak Human covers empire after empire that rose and fell. Listening to you, I would think we're toast, because every civilization gets comfortable and destroys itself. And I see evidence of that as I look around.
Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
One of the most worrying signs in history is you begin to take wealth and comfort for granted. It's just there, and give us more of it. And then you forget what made it possible to begin with. I see a lot of worrying signs right now. We have a backlash against all of the things that keep our society innovative. Trade.
We've been ripped off by everybody.
Against migration.
We got to close the border. That's the first thing we got to do.
Unsustainable debts.
U.S. federal debt is on an unsustainable path.
All those problems are there, but that doesn't mean that we're doomed. That's a lesson of history as well, that there's so many instances where societies have faced terrible situations and problems, but they've bounced back. And that's very much dependent on what they decided to do. It's not automatic, this sort of decline and fall phase. You can unleash new waves of innovation and of progress. So there is still time. We can still save this golden age.
We can, and you can help. Unlike most media these days, we defend free markets and limited government. So if you want to help us keep doing that, please click that button.